that actually synergizes much better than what happened last game.
I really like the Huskar ban too. Like Liquid is saying, if we just play a standard game, they remove the Naga, they remove the Huskar. If we just play a standard game against you, we're confident that we can beat you, because that's pretty much what happened last game. 50-50, they just completely crushed them. And like
Axe,
we'll see what happens here. They go for the Axe next.
Yeah, it was not removed this time, so they have that strong SD Axe combination. Axe, I feel, have been amazing here on the main stage as well. When he goes in, he can just lock one target down. No matter what core you pick right now, if he gets Blade Mail on Axe and calls you, you will almost kill yourself just to Axe.
Especially late game, you just kill yourself. You can't even prevent it. You just like die.
There's a counter that the OG used. They're eliminated, but it was really good versus the Axe as well as the Mirana. They used OT. It was actually really good. You can Astral either the hero that gets called or the Axe to counter the initiation, and it's really good against the SD Mirana combo. I'm not sure if they'll use it, but it is an option available for that. I really liked how Newbie banned Sand King, because I think Mind Control Sand King has been winning games.
I totally agree, but honestly, like, so is his Axe. Like, they can only remove like one threat, now they have to deal with the other, because obviously they don't want to have the Luna go through, because Luna SD is like really strong.
I've noticed that, is that Liquid usually do play their best when, especially in tournaments and events where Mind Control steps up to play, for sure.
Yeah. The thing about him is, though, that he's super versatile. He's one of those players. I remember back in FPL, he used to play with all the pro players in the FPL league, and he would pick for his team, and afterwards he would just say, okay, pick whatever hero you want, I'll play whichever position, and he would just captain the team to victory, no matter what hero he was given, and he would be outstanding. He's just extremely individually talented. I don't think people mention that enough about him.
Yeah, I think most people really don't give him enough credit. Like, we said it before, every team has like this one standout player. For that team, Mind Control as well, Liquid will run over you. Like, if you shut him down, you really shut down most of the aggressive options of Liquid.
Reminds me about Navi in a lot of ways with General.
In general, yeah. Very similar.
All right, Newbie move forward, and they're going to be the team now to snag up the Morphling. What do you think? Is that partially a block pick, you'd imagine, since Liquid have already committed for the Shadow Demon on their side?
Yeah, it's really good. I think that also Axe is one of the best replicate targets in the game.
For sure.
Also not really vulnerable to the Shadow Demon Mirana. Just morph out, no problem.
Especially in the early game. If you get the replicate on the Axe, you can just farm away with that in jungle. You get like 2 creep camps easily. That's so much money for the Morphling, bonus money.
I just thought back to the Bad Rider pick, and I remembered it's the only comfortable hero for Mu that he can actually play off lane, because in the first game we saw they switched around, because they might look into actually dual laning middle. Morphling Io is a very strong dual lane mid. Probably not that much against bottom, but they can really shut her down as well.
I feel that becomes a weakness though when they're playing like this, moving KP into carry positions and doing these switches, because Mu is such an outstanding mid player as well. He has some heroes that he excels at, and I don't feel Batrider is one of them. He's one of those players who really plays well on high damage mid heroes such as TA, Storm, Ember. These heroes he actually plays really well.
Yeah, I completely agree, but I'm still not sure what they did in the first game. I just hope they don't do it again, but it's like definitely an option they have if they really wanted to go for it. Yeah, which they hopefully won't.
Yeah, they might juke and pick a real Mu hero here.
Yeah, like he has actually so many heroes, you can't actually say what he plays. His Puck is amazing too, his Invoker is amazing too.
There was a time when everyone considered Mu to be the best mid player in the world, him and CTY, and...
It was during Tier 4, like when he won the championship, he was actually just...
Black just lights up like a light bulb.
Yeah. All right, Black, tell us, is this working here or not? What's he gonna do? What's he gotta do?
This is like such a good AM game. You have Disruptor to Disruptor. You have Shadow Demon to save you. You have an Axe to keep a target in place while you like completely shred them apart. They don't really have any good heroes against you. Like Battle Lasso, yeah, okay, sure, but there's not really like a counter to you. Like, oh, I'm so stoked to see Matumba, man. Hey, man.
Are you gonna backseat him, or are you gonna make sure you're watching over his shoulder?
I'm gonna send him all my power because he's gonna own
Bias Caster. All right, moving on after Liquid snag up that AM. Newbie move right into a Timbersaw here, Ben.
Timbersaw again, pure damage to deal with an anti-mage. Really good at shredding down that Axe too. So they don't actually have any physical damage. So Axe normally, pretty good if you need that armor, but it's actually like almost exclusively like magic and pure damage coming out from Newbie, which the anti-mage is going to have a good time. But if they're 4 and 5ing a lot in the early game, I can actually see Newbie getting out of control, especially if the Morphling decides to get involved early, which he normally does with a Wisp. Without a Wisp, you farm Linken's. With, you can go ham.
What do you think, Warren? I think this will come down a lot to how good Liquid will play like 4v5 for about 20 minutes. Like when AM comes online and he joins those fights, obviously they can fight really well, but I think the game is going to be determined like before that point.
It's going to be hard against the Wisp and Batrider,
10
Timbersaw. These are
seconds
early
remaining.
game aggression type heroes. Those first 20 minutes are going to be crucial. And
5
of course, what you're
seconds
referring to, the Anti-Mage needs his time. Even though Matumman is excellent, I think it could be hard actually for Team Liquid to hold it, but they
Turn
have
to
great
pick.
heroes to do it. That's for sure.
Yeah, and they will also have the last pick to counter the last pick of Newbie, possibly like just like round the lineup up.
Yeah, but Liquid have the great thing already that Anti-Mage, they picked their carry to counter the Morphling, really.
10
Late game, if you get
seconds
Abyssal Blade
remaining.
against Morphling, even if he has the Lincoln, someone on your team can easily remove that. You have great stuff to do it.
Liquid's turn to
It's
pick.
gonna be so... Wow.
You know, Shadow Shaman is a nice pick. I was just about to go on though. What if they actually juke with the Morphling and put him on the support role? That would have been so dope. But we won't see it.
No,
Never mind.
haven't actually seen much support Morphling in a long time now.
Unless you play a lot of pubs.
Yeah,
Wings did it
seconds
earlier in
remaining.
the group stage, and it was against an AM, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They used it as a lot of
5
single target
seconds
hate to
remaining.
make sure they locked him down.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman?
Then it's just even nicer because the replicate on an Anti-Mage for a support Morphling to get
Reserve
is
time.
really powerful.
Yeah. But like the Shadow Shaman obviously is pretty good against AM. Like when he gets his items though, like he
10
just food
seconds
for him.
remaining.
He killed him like 3 hits.
I think this Rasta needs to get Blink Dagger in this
5
game if it's gonna
seconds
work out.
remaining.
Or a Glimmer Cape early, that could also work, but it's not gonna save so many people. So I wish he gets Blink Dagger early, because he's gonna need... Someone needs to go on SD. That's the big issue for Newbie, that I feel. If SD doesn't get shut down, then he's just gonna save whoever against the Batrider. This is looking tough for Newbie, I feel.
All right, looks like our draft is complete. I actually didn't happen to catch the last pick there by Liquid, so maybe we'll see once they pop into it. Looks like maybe a Rubik.
Rubik, yeah.
Rubik was the
Rubik.
last pick there. Gentlemen, quick predictions before we throw it to the casters?
Anti-Mage.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Anti-Mage, I think, was a great pick.
I'll go with Newbie.
Black is just not happy. He's giving you this look like, what the hell are you talking about? Fair enough. Let's go ahead and throw it over to our side of the stage right now where we have our casters for game number 3. It's Odie, Pixel, and Draskell.
10
Thank you very much
seconds
indeed.
remaining.
Game 3, Liquid versus Newbie. What a series it's turned out to be
5
so far.
seconds
Ups and
remaining.
downs for both sides. Overall, though, you said before this third game started, you felt Liquid as a whole, they've played at the higher level. Going into this final game with the drafts that we've seen, have they got the potential to do it again, or have
Prepare for
Newbie got a
battle.
bit of an edge with this draft?
I'm on the AM train. I am definitely on the AM train. I also think their last pick, the Undying, is really strong. They're going to do the whole dual offlane thing again, and it's against an IO potentially. Shadow Shaman, not known for really dealing well with aggressive lanes in general, and then a Morphling who is going to take a pretty long time to come online. So I'm really worried that Newbie aren't going to be able to play the game fast enough to really punish Liquid at all. And I think that it's very likely that Matumba just runs away with this game.
And in terms of keeping control, and as you said, if Newbie then don't maintain control at the start, you feel that just the lineup that Liquid have, the aim and Search, it can deal with the split push pressure of the Morphling of Newbie and come out on top in the late.
Oh yeah, I mean AM clears ways with the best of them, and you have a Mirana on top of that. Plus, it's still going to be very scary, I
30
think, for Newbie to
seconds
move
to
out on the
battle.
map. Sure, you have the Batrider, you have the IO relocate and whatnot, but Liquid's heroes are pretty mobile, especially once the Blink Dagger comes up. Like the best thing that you can hope for is to get a pick on like an Undying or a Shadow Demon, because those are the two that are, you know, the least mobile of the 5-man squad here of Liquid. But yeah, I'm favoring them pretty large amount. Not to say that Newbie can't win, but they do need to play a very fast tempo game once that Batrider gets a blink.
You can see at the moment Liquid around the top ring.
The
Newbie were
battle
there in
begins.
pretty much full force, but they don't want to contest it.
The prize
And
is
that is going to
mine.
result in Liquid being able to secure themselves both of the bounty runes. Newbie not able to find an opening to contest either sides. And lane-wise, as we see them come out, it looks to be in the moment at least Mind Control on his own on the bottom lane. We saw obviously in the first 2 games he did have a support at his side. But Axe going to be going up against the dual lane in the moment of Newbie. We'll see how that goes on. Broky's going to look to direct his efforts towards having Outfighter get a good start in this mid lane, and I guess this is required against the Iron Morphling lane.
This is the best possible lanes that Newbie could get, I think, in this situation. Like, it's obviously not going to be a great middle lane, but it's going to be good enough. And having the Shadow Shaman down in the bottom lane, it's good
Radiant's
enough to
bottom
solo zone.
tower
So
is under
Shadow
attack.
Shaman's not good when it's a 2v2, but when it's a 1v2, he's amazing because Shackles does a really good amount of damage. Even at level 1, it's a very long disable. And plus, you have the Timbersaw in the safe lane, so you can deal a huge amount of damage to him.
And we saw that just a few blasts of the shock from Shem enforcing Mind Control back up on the Axe. Mid lane, at the moment, Broky still. Farming up the decay, keeping Hao and Kaka back, creating space for Fada to get the farm. And it's certainly working out at the moment, as we can see. Early CS advantage for the Mirana. It's KuroKy again, just comes back in. And this decision to put these two heroes mid certainly seems to be working out in terms of making sure Hao doesn't get the speedy beginnings that he requires.
They just want to lane against Newbie. They just want to go aggro. As soon as Kuro finds a spot where he can sit and just throw out decays and be a nuisance. I mean, he has 240 max health, and he's converting more. I mean, that's not a great thing.
Well, bottom, mind control. Not a man to get afraid of moving in and starting to skip the creep wave out away from Newbie. Put some pressure on this lane on his own. Certainly looks like he feels safe enough that he can afford to make these pulls away. Bring the creep wave back to his side. And actually, well, spots out the name is Runas are going to want to take it now as he, of course, just wants to clean up the creeps. And last but not least, really the top lane. We haven't really talked too much about it, but it is indeed the bat move. Sorry, KP this time. Going up against the safe lane of Liquid. And he's already found himself level 3, so looks like he's able to get the experience in terms of getting close enough for the creeps. That's not going to be the case with Jarex hanging around Matuma Man's side on the Shadow Demon.
I mean, at the very least, it should be difficult to kill the Bat Rider. They might be able to force him to jungle. He's already making his way down there right now. Probably just wants to stack. Oh, arrow hits.
Yeah. He's got the Bat Hunger down.
Oh,
not going to be enough at the same time, though. Mid lane. The aggression and pressure from KuroKy's presence pays off with a kill. Big stuff happening there. Monkey's going to hope to deny himself to the creeps here. It's not going to happen. Who's got the burst? But that first blood for Liquid.
Dude, just look at the CS. This Morphling has 5 creep kills.
Maybe it is the support Morphling the draft panel was looking for.
I don't think it's the support Morphling that Newbie are looking for, unfortunately. It's just so difficult laning against this Undying. I mean, sure, now that Kuro's gone back to base, he might be able to catch up a tiny bit, but this is the big worry that I had. They just don't have an answer for the laning phase, and you need Morphling to be able to stay at least somewhat relevant in regards to farm if you want to try to contest that AM. I'm really wondering what the idea is here. Yeah, I mean, the Bat Rider, he might be able to get a Blink Dagger timing that's okay, but other than that, it's looking a little bit rough right now for Newbie.
I mean, Matuma Man as well, with the pace that this game's going. Are we going to see a Vanguard come out, Matuma Man turn up to early fights, or Battle Fury straight up? What do you expect he's going to go for this game on the AM?
I mean, if I'm this far ahead and they're feeling confident, I'd probably just go straight Battle Fury. I mean, you can go back for the Vanguard later because you're obviously going to want Abyssal Blade. The other thing too is, if you buy Vanguard in this game, you can play very aggressive, which is what a lot of anti-mage players like to do. But I feel like in some situations when the laning phase is so easy for Liquid right now, you're probably not going to get punished if you just go straight Battle Fury.
See top, KP trying to guard the rune up for his teammates attack. Now moving on to Fada, jump forward from Hao. See if they can finish this one off. Fada gets himself out. Oh, he goes down. They'll get the long kill in Newbie. See if they can get a second. The flame breath bringing KuroKy back. He's got 3 stacks on him, and wow, Newbie able to punish Liquid this time round. Great play from the 3 of them as they team up together. And Jarrett, he is on his own. We'll see if Newbie can go in for more. Salving up.
He needs to get out of here.
Under attack.
2 stacks on him, but looks like Newbie don't want to follow through and chase it down.
Arrow.
Oh, Kido, arrow to Starstorm. Fada cleans himself up on one in return, and in fact, has to be careful. Tethers across to Hao, keeps himself alive.
Radiant's top tower.
So Newbie able to get a couple of kills mid, but Liquid bite back, and of course Fada getting himself in again on the action and remaining ahead of Hao's Morphling.
Well, he didn't buy back, it's just 5 minutes in, so you just respawn instantly. But yeah, Fata with a really nice arrow there onto the Bat Rider. And this whole time, Matuma Man's just hitting creeps, man, getting damage on the tower. It's below half health already in the off lane. Should be able to kill it relatively fast. Once that happens, he can just be more efficient, just do pulls if he wants, hop in the jungle. And this is still, Newbie need to continue to find kills like that. If they can just bring the Bat Rider and the IO around, it's a really strong combination. Hao eating a Starstorm there. Yeah, but Newbie still have a ton of work to do.
Otherwise, I'm really KP in that Blink Dagger timing.
Dude, the Shadow Demon has more CS than Hao. Come on, this is not good. The laning phase is just total disaster right now for Newbie.
And we've seen as well many times before. If Jerax gets some, an early blink or easy lens, he makes so many plays happen on his Shadow Demon. We've already seen it once this series. It's a very, very strong hero for Jerax. But then again, it feels like in this tournament, a lot of heroes could be associated with Jerax pulling off the plays with. He's certainly been on form across the board this TI.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but this man is about to get some serious gold. Like, he's been stacking all these camps. Newbie have not really been contesting at all because they've been very heavily focused on trying to get kills to equalize the deficit they've had in the laning phase, but that's not really gonna matter too much. This is a 6-minute level 6 on Cherax.
Yep.
We were talking about DJ earlier in the first series having like level 5 at 6 minutes. He's a full level ahead of that. That's completely insane.
And of course, meanwhile, anti-mage. Yeah, Matuma Man, no issues at all on this top lane. Newbie unable to do anything to slow down the farm of this anti-mage, and it's only going to continue to spiral out of control unless they're able to make the plays onto him, or at least force the pressure elsewhere on the map.
He's even giving the other stacks to Mind Control, so not only is he going to have a very fast level 6, but Mind Control is going to have a super fast Blink Dagger. Like, Liquid are just a well-oiled machine here in game number 3. This is unbelievable.
Perfect efficiency from the side, and a lot of course, those arrows and reasonings point towards Jerax, and his just control and preparation of the jungle for his team. You can see him already just coming across and making sure that Newbie themselves can't even make a move over into the jungle of Liquid. Closing the gates. Matuma Man, he's A-okay. Jerax is there just in case anyone from Newbie tries to come close to the anti-mage. It's really not going to be the case at this point.
He might choose to go back for Vanguard, just given how far ahead they are.
Okay, Penny. Maybe in trouble. The Demonic Purge is down, but Superman moves, and he's got a mana void if he needs it. Will pop it. Not enough damage at the moment. The KP will live.
Radiant's
House
top
come over
tower
with a
is
TP
under
reaction,
attack.
but Superman simply just backs off under the cover of Moonlight Shadow. And they actually want to come back in, see if he can get the last touch on this tier 1. So he gets it with his next bit of a push. At the same time as we can see Mind Control getting more and more stacks from the jungle here. And Farda, more and more space in the mid lane. There's Newbie being pulled across the map, and we're back up to top. And look,
Radiant's
as
top
Matuma Man
tower
claims
is
more gold with the final touch to the tower, forces Hao back. And Matuma Man, Perseverance picked up. He is indeed going to go straight for the Battle Fury this game. And we can see already at this point, 8.5 minutes in, top 3 net
Radiant's
worth
middle
all over on the
tower
side of
is under
Liquid.
attack.
Dude, just look at the net worth and experience. It pretty much tells the entire story. Liquid have just had a ridiculous early game. It's 8 minutes in. That's a 500 GPM almost a minute on average that Liquid are gaining on Newbie. That is almost unheard of.
And I think that is the scary thing. I mean, obviously they did drop a game this series, but you look at every game, and Liquid in the laning stage, they just play it on another level.
They have the better lanes. I feel like they've been playing better Dota in general. And the last 2 games in a row, I feel like their draft has also been better in addition to that. So maybe Newbie just not really prepared for Liquid in the series.
See, with the smoke, they'll find themselves back. Can they get the catch onto him? It looks like he'll get the chance to
Dire's
tether
bottom
away.
tower is under attack.
Won't catch out the blue ball.
Dire's
Jerax says he's just going to wander
structures
around and
are
drop a ward, but he may get in trouble for this one. Move, wrapping around. Jerax, I don't think he plays way out this one. 3 heroes surrounding him. Will lose his life. As Newbie able to pick up something from that play. The
Dire's
ward's going to
bottom
remain there for the
tower
time
is
being. We'll see if
under
Newbie are aware that view was placed down and see if they do anything about it. Same time, bottom lane, walls were dropped as a bit of pressure is being put on by Chuana onto the tier 1 bottom. But Liquid actually able to farm up some of the wards, get more money onto Mind Control on the Axa. He is going to be one building the Vanguard first this game. And Matuma Man, just one component away from the Battle Fury. It's going to be a very, very quick timing for the anti-mage this game. Same time, Farda. Gets the lead pump. Unless you manage to jump out of the pit. Moonlight Shadow's there. Mind Control reacts. Gets the dunk off. Demonic Purge onto Moose. See if they can chase down for more. Looking towards Squad. He's Chakra from Haunting Man, but there's the mana void. Matuma Man turning up the fight. It's a double kill for Mind Control. Moose could be in trouble as well. They're closing the gap. Moose doing a bit of fuel left to tank the dunk. Oh, it's a little bit premature. Mind Control won't be able to find a third, but still Liquid taking themselves to Newbie getting nothing in return.
We'll get along just fine.
It's really looking
Dire's middle
very,
tower
very
is
impressive at
under
the moment
attack.
for Liquid. Just an insane amount of value already built up on Matuma Man's anti-mage. Pre-Battle Fury is only going to get greater at this rate.
How are they going to stop this anti-mage? Like, if he gets a Battle Fury at like, what, 12 minutes? he's just going to go completely out of control. They're not going to be able to stop him. I mean, the one bright side for Newbie right now is that KP, he is kind of close to getting a Blink Dagger, and that could find some decent openings for Newbie to claw their way back into the game for kickoffs, and you can see how desperate they are. Look at this. This is a 4-man smoke commitment. They need to get, oh my god,
it's been
and it
scanned
gets
out.
scanned. Oh man, Liquid.
Oh, Liquid just one step ahead of Newbie each and every time. They drop a ward down behind the towers, but not finding the kill that they wanted.
Is under attack.
Gonna attempt for a tier 1 here, but Liquid may even be in a position that they want to try and do something about this. Vado revealing himself, TP's come through. Yeah, they want to fight this. They want to hold this defense. And they may even be able to farm some of these wards. You see Vado already just taking some of this extra gold. I mean, 28 gold apiece, it's not bad. And the tower's not going to be taken. Liquid probably even going to get the chance to get a deny on this one as well. And at the same time, KP on the sidelines, and even get themselves a kill, jumping in on the back. KP to go down, Shackles onto Mike Job, he's killed him. Find the soul rip, he's not going to die here. Now he finally goes as House Hips across, but Liquid, they're going to be able to find themselves more return potential. Could be the top. This double kill for Vado in return, 3 dead on Newbie. KuroKy's going to chase down Twan. It looked pretty with the IO coming in to help, but it's not enough. And again, Liquid taking the favorable fight. KuroKy just gonna man up against House, got to get himself away. Will TP out. But another fight where Liquid are just coming out on top. It's not going great for Newbie once again in this earlier stages. It's every single game's been like this series.
Well, I mean, this went about as well as it could have, I think, for Newbie, because they already had committed wards at this point. You see the waveform in there from How getting the kill onto Mind Control, who pretty much got all of the crowd control used on him, unfortunately. And everyone's grouping up around Moo, and the Timbersaw gets quite a bit of burst damage out to kind of equalize the odds a little bit. At the very least, they walk away with a handful of core kills, and I think that's okay for them. If they can like manage to pull it back through kills and fighting, that's kind of what their lineup is meant to do. Whereas Liquid obviously having the split push potential with the anti-mage, that's kind of how they want to play this out.
Timberman treads, Battle Fury online, the farm will continue. You see 5k network lead at the moment. I believe not as big as the least they did have in game 1 and game 2 at this stage, but nonetheless a sizable one to have. And one that's only going to get larger unless Newbie are able to put a bit of a spanner into the momentum that Liquid have got. Nice on towards the bottom lane. Timberman, he's in the neighborhood with Mind Control, and more's going to be coming in. The cavalry, Liquid, bringing the full team down onto the bottom to put some pressure on. See how Newbie react. They're already keeping themselves in the tree line. They realize that Liquid off the map, something's going on. Twan's out of there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Liquid would just find the space to take a tier 1.
Under
A
attack.
super aggressive warding coming out from Liquid 2. They realize the position they're in. They know that they can just farm very, very aggressively as well with the AM.
Radiant structures are
But there is a Blink
fortified.
Dagger now on the KP,
Radiant's
so if they want to
bottom
try to go for
tower
some
is
kind of
under
defense,
attack.
maybe for the tier 1 bed or something, because I really think you don't want to give that away for free, especially given the fact that you're up against an
Radiant's
anti-mage.
bottom tower has fallen.
It's going to be the aim. Well, looks like from Liquid getting in position. AP coming around from the backside. Will jump in onto Vado, but Liquid they are there in response, and indeed the defensive destruction comes out. KuroKy is trapped up in the wall. Solid is incredibly tanky. Finally goes down. They find the burst. Can't get themselves anything else. Newbie moving it up to Vado. He's already used the leap, and Newbie
Radiant's bottom
get
tower
themselves
is under
the double
attack.
for move. It's a good defense, and they may even get more, but Mind Control there to turn the tides. Claws to KP. They could get themselves a kill in return. But it is a favorable trade for Newbie, and they do hold on to the tier 1, as you said. One of the highest priorities for him.
Now, Liquid need to remember that they are pretty much playing a 4v5 game. I think Matuma Man has been a bit more active than most of the... Oh, that mana was alrighty.
Easy kill.
So Matuma Man pretty much just equalizes that teamfight exchange. And also keep in mind that Chuan had to commit Mass Serpent Wards for that, which means he's not going to be able to use it in any aggressive manner for taking towers and stuff. That's one big thing about, you know, your Shadow Shamans, your Death Prophets, that you are very cooldown reliant. As long as those Mass Serpent Wards are down, you're going to be having a hard time contributing. So all things considered, Liquid probably okay with the situation. They got some damage on the tier 2 in the bottom lane, traded it for a couple of heroes. Still doing very well.
As you can see that with the comparison, I mean,
Radiant's middle
regarding
tower
the
is
situation,
under
Moose still had a pretty clean game on the Timber.
Yeah, the Timber is he's a really good pick because he just does a ton of damage and there's 2 melee cores, but the problem is later in the game, he's going to become almost like a nuclear bomb when he starts using his mana, and you just get level 3 mana void cast on you, and anyone standing in the vicinity, they're just going to explode.
So what's the plan now for Newbie? Is it a case of waiting for maybe Liquid to try and go for that tier 1 push in the mid again, or can they smoke up with Blink and try and kick something off at the back?
I think that you really want to wait for wards to be up before you try to do anything, and the most likely scenario for me is them trying to pressure the safe lane and just drop wards in the tower, relocate in if you find a lasso target, because that's like the biggest strength of their team is their ability to pick people off.
Well, starting to find a bit of gold on the Shaman now as well, 1300. Imagine wanting to get that Blink Dagger timing online. Talking about iron timings though, Moon, indeed. Bloodstone complete. The Timber Saw now is that period of the game where we've got to see if Newbie's able to continue to find these team fights where they're getting more involved in the kills. Or if Liquid are able to take away those Bloodstone charges, find some action. Bottom lane out, tipping away, but Mind Control's there to cut him off with the Battle Hunger. Can't quite get the call off. Good enough to strike from out. Now he gets it though. They don't have the damage to deal with it. In fact, Liquid, yeah, they realise they've got to get themselves out. Fada, TP's out. They've got anything to stop Mind Control. They do. A damage strike comes out just in time. So Mind Control, stuck in the tree line. Al finishes it off. And again, Newbie were recovering very well this time off the back of a very slow start. But still, the prevailing issue remains Matumba Man very, very far ahead of the pack with his farm. And also on a note of Fada's Mirana, it's going to be a good timing again with the Aghanims, which is now complete.
Yeah, the thing about that death from Mind Control that makes it painful is the fact that he was very, very close to his Blink Dagger. And I think that, you know, going for the Vanguard, I understand where he's coming from. It's a greedy choice. You know you're ahead. You want to get further ahead. But I'm kind of wondering if just the standard Blink into late now would have been maybe a better choice, just given the fact that you would be able to take the fight to Newbie so much faster and kind of catch him off guard. But either way, still having a pretty solid game, and as you mentioned, Matumba Man's just ridiculously farmed. You know, 10.5k net worth at 18 minutes, pretty good. And with the Vlads, he can also go for a very early Roshan if Newbie ever decide to overcommit to some engagement or are just obviously not ready for the sneak. Because if just him and the Axe walk into the pit, they can kill it.
In terms of Newbie fighting around the pit, do you feel that they have an edge here, or is Liquid going to feel very confident?
They can fight around the pit. I was speaking more in terms of being able to sneak a Rosh. Going 5 versus 5 around the Roshan pit area for Liquid might be a little bit dangerous right now. It's because, you know, you're up against Massive wards, which are very good at controlling a small area, and that's kind of what the Roshan pit is, so you kind of want to kite away from those, which obviously leaves the objective open for Newbie to take, depending on how the fight rolls out. So I think it's a little bit risky to go for the all-in Rosh, but if they manage to see Newbie on the map and they say, hey, we got a Vlads, we can just kill it, that might be something that they consider.
Chuan has the Blink now done. Some big items coming across, out across the board, in fact. As we see Howard the Lincolns, so they're going to help out against Matumba Man if he jumps on him, into burst him. And talking about Liquid, they're going to go for the exact play you suggest. Jumping into the pit, looking to take it whilst Newbie are unaware. Things coming out, they will have an illusion coming through, so Newbie will be aware this is going on, and of course it's not the fastest of Rosh. We'll see Liquid stick around for it though. They'll complete on Kuroki, ready for the next fight. There's a Blink on Mind Control, also a Blink on Chuan for the side of Newbie, so we'll see if Chuan can get a good jump and a good lock-in in this fight. So who's going to lead the way? Harris catches out on the sidelines, but maybe he jumps in towards him, he jumps as well. Rosh has to show line for timing, but he gets taken down by Liquid. Matumba Man able to pick up the Aegis. So Newbie unable to disrupt them where they wanted to. Matumba Man was shackled up by Chuan, but there's no follow through. He's going to be fine, and jumping in Mind Control gets the call on two. Makes going to potentially lose moves, but he tries to timidate away, but Matumba Man chases him down, finishes him off. It's a triple kill for Fada. And that really could not have gone any worse for Newbie around the pit, and it may not be over yet. Look into how, the Matterhorn up to 12, make sure he can't blink away, Matumba Man reading the situation perfectly. And how does he get out without a TP? They're going to chase him down here. Liquid finding yet another with an absolutely incredible Roshan fight. Roshan, Aegis, and pretty much the whole team of Newbie to boot as well.
Man, they needed more follow-up after the wards were dropped. Like, for a second there, you saw how much damage Liquid were taking during that small engagement when they just dropped the Massive wards, but They lose the Batrider
Radiant's
pretty much
bottom
right away
tower
after he
is
tries
under
to lasso
attack.
on the mind control, and at that
Radiant
point,
structures
Roshan already
are
dies,
fortified.
Matuma Man blinks out of the pit with the Aegis, and then from that point on, Newbie, they can't fight anymore. As soon as the fight is not occurring around the Mass Serpent Wards, you just have to bail. There's no way that you can turn it anymore.
And as you said yourself, with the draft that Newbie had again, they would have been hoping for a bit of an edge towards the beginning of this game. Otherwise, it is of course going to enter this territory. It's going to be incredibly hard for them to catch up with Matuma Man's farm. And to the point where it's going to be even harder to deal with the anti-mage as Matuma Man closing in on Manta style. At just 21 minutes in, this progression has been absolutely ridiculous. And of course, Jarex, as we can see there, a lot of the backbone of the team, as we saw with the preparation of the jungle early on, making sure the farm was ready for mind control and
Dire's
such.
top tower is under attack.
1-1 at 11, getting himself involved in so much action across the map as well on the Shadow Demon. Been very solid performance from him. Top lane Liquid coming through, and now Matuma Man jumping immediately onto Kaka. Kaka trying to get out. Oh, he's got an Invis ring in the bottle. He is a lucky boy, and they don't have detection for that, so he'll get himself out with the Invis, Kaka. It won't be quite the free kill that Liquid would have hoped for, and Kaka, he's just going to continue to roll out. I wonder if he's going to kill himself there, but looks like he may be able to make a safe escape. He's got the TP is out. You know, there we have it. Level 17, 22 minutes in. Manta, Battle Fury, Vlad's Treads. Matuma Man is very much good to go at this stage. 3-0-4 as well.
Dire's structures are
Killing him
fortified.
twice, I'm not really
Radiant's
sure how
top tower is under
they're
attack.
supposed to do that. He's so far ahead.
Dire's
He's
bottom
got
tower
5k
has
more
fallen.
net worth than the next highest person in the game. That's his own
Radiant
teammate.
structures are fortified.
Nice.
And Thoth is still ahead
Radiant's
of
top
Tao as
tower
well.
is
Smoke
under
up really
attack.
good. They did scan the area out. They knew Liquid were over in that area. KP trying to move away. Jaresh really would love to get a range of demonic
Radiant's
pleasure. It's
top
more the
tower
vision at
has
night that's
fallen.
going to be the shortcoming here.
Dire's bottom tower
Now
is
get the
under
vision of.
attack.
Oh no, he's still over the side. Now he goes back. Oh, that blink though! KP! Can't quite believe he reacted that quickly. I mean, does he get himself out? You can see Liquid still looking for some bat, but he is well and truly out of there. My goodness,
That was a
he
really
was
good
so
reaction.
close to going down, Andy.
Yeah, that was a sick reaction from KP. Interestingly enough, I think there was a stat last game there. They were showing his win rate on specific heroes. I think
I believe it was 0-8 on
0 and 8.
It was 0-8. He's
So
looking to break it this game. He wants to prove a point, Andy.
I don't know if this is the game for that, Owen. Unfortunately, seems to be very, very tall order. Top lane, Jarex gonna be in some trouble here.
So what kind of a jump they get? And we go with the relocate, bringing Tron in. Immediately takes Jarex out of the fight. Newbie. They get themselves anything else. Barda's already on the retreat. But Matuma Man's still around. I mean, do they want to go in here? Matuma Man going in on the front. Bit. Didn't actually touch Tron, so Tron gets to blink out. A little bit awkward there from Matuma Man. He didn't find anything there. That was a bit weird.
Well, the problem was he didn't have mana void, so it wasn't
Yeah.
actually shown on camera. He mana voided bottom onto the Morphling when Hao was TPing away, maybe not knowing that he had Lincoln, so he has nothing really to stop DPs or bursts or anything like that.
Still at this stage of the game.
And Newbie are doing a really good job at splitting up the map at least. They're not just like letting Liquid push in all 3 lanes and sitting inside of their base. They're actually out and about trying to make things happen because they realize, obviously don't want to lose, but at the same time, you can't just let Liquid have free reign over everything.
Oh, kind of heading over.
Spoil that shot.
Oh, well, they got that creep. And
Radiant's
with the ward
middle
out,
tower
and
is
then
under
spot
attack.
KP around. They want to do something about it. He was trying for a TP out underneath the ward. It's not going to happen. Immediate disruption. They'll surround him. Pat is down. Liquid again with another pickoff thanks to this. It's really nice warding. We can see with the aggressive wards as well from Liquid. They've got so much vision around Newbie's half of the
Dire's
map.
structures are fortified.
So now I'm going to find these pickoffs. At the same time though,
Is under
the old
attack.
relocate wards on the top lane. TP reactions coming out immediately. We'll see if they're able to get a kill out of this. Matuma Man jumps forward. He's going to try for it. Working into Hao. Does have mana void available? Barda's coming across as well. Hao out of mana. Could be in a lot of trouble here. He's moved a fair bit of strength, but it's not going to be enough as Hao taken down. Liquid responding to the pressure at the same time. I mean, Io came back off the relocate, but the rest of Liquid were there to deal with him.
They just lose heroes in all over the map. Losing heroes top, losing him mid, losing him in the jungle.
And he has a Bashardoon now as well.
I mean, not just the Basher, but he's probably going
And
to have
money
to
on
pull
top
a
of it.
missile
Yeah.
soon. Yeah.
This is.
Well, this is the worry, right? At the beginning of the game, looking at the anti-mage and just seeing what kind of potential Nubi actually has to kill him, it's very reliant on an early Batrider Blink Dagger and the Timbersaw just going ham and dealing a ton of damage and bursting. But the problem is he was completely uncontested. He got the Battle Fury super early, gets the Blaz after that, and the Manta at very quick timing. That Roshan as well secured them a very dominant position in the game, because then Matumba Man is fearless. He can push whatever he wants. Okay, you kill me once, but you have to pretty much use everything to kill me that first time. So when I respawn, either my teammates are going to be there to back me up, there's a Moonlight Shadow, or I can just simply blink away. This is, as Black said on the panel, this is an amazing game to be an anti-mage.
Especially with this map. Farm at this stage, just, I mean, only 26 minutes in, but indeed, if you look at some of the items the Liquid have, it doesn't feel like that. And while top lane, and Timberman jumps in onto Moo. He'll back off. He's got the hood as well.
He didn't want to go for it because he saw that the Morphling and Chuan were both in the area. Obviously, Chuan having that Blink Dagger. So the aggressive wards, once again, paying dividends here. For the side of Liquid, they're just going to maintain their control of the map and be satisfied knowing that Matumba Man is happily chopping away at creeps.
Liquid, of course, at this stage, I imagine they are feeling fairly comfortable. Roshan, we'll see when it's going to be back up in just under a minute. Now, Liquid, obviously realizing with the Age, they don't need to rely on an Aegis to make the plays and to take these fights. And with this Moonlight, they'll start to make a move over. Entrance of Sentry, so they'll see the Nubi know that they're there, but they'll still get the jump onto Kaka. Mind control immediately with a call. That's going to be a freebie, and now the rest of Nubi need to be careful. They kind of split up here. This awkward positioning from Nubi, and Matumba goes in on Chuan. Up towards the top, the back. Nubi trying to get himself away. You have Hao forcing out this top lane, trying to get Liquid's attention drawn away from maybe even thinking about pressuring the high ground of Nubi at this stage with 2 heroes down. This is getting very scary as the Abyssal is on its way out from Matumba. As we said time and time again, it really has been the perfect anti-mage game, and Matumba Man has played it absolutely flawlessly so far.
Radiant's middle tower is
I gotta
under
give
attack.
like huge credit to Kuro for the game 2 and
Dire's
3
top
drafts. They were
tower
both
is under
just
attack.
so good. Like the lanes, the overall idea, it just seemed to put Nubi on the back foot from a very early stage. I mean, we saw game 1 and we said, all right, maybe if they had some different heroes, this would have been a lot better for them, because they were playing, it seemed like on a different level than what Nubi have been the entire series. But since that point, it's just been, like, clearly Nubi are just not quite on the same level.
And certainly not off the back of today's performances, indeed, if you read it from that. Nubi smoked up, realizing it is going to get close to the timing. Roshan back up in just over a minute. And they do want to fight by the looks of it. KP looking to lead the way, find a catch. They'll scan it out. They know that Liquid's hanging around behind Roshan, and he KP ready to make the jump. See what he can get lead on. Jax is going to be the one that's revealing himself first, but Fada close by him. Fada's actually jumping up onto the high ground. It's Liquid, looks like they actually just end up avoiding each other. Liquid making a beeline potentially for the mid. Nubi, looks like they realize they're just not finding anything with this movement, and they themselves have to be very careful about how they reveal on the lanes, and immediately TPing out back to base, realizing that the gank was failed, and they want to make sure the Liquid aren't able to turn it around and capitalize with the use of Moonlight Shadow.
Well, Liquid got pulled a little bit out of position because they saw the Morphling with the wards, and they were maybe assuming that Nubi were somewhere else on the map with a smoke. But the thing is, if you go for the Morphling instead of the fight with the smoke, it means that you're guaranteeing that that hero is isolated, and you pretty much force the entirety of Nubi to either TP back to help him, or you just lose that hero. So it was a nice call, but unfortunately they couldn't really get there fast enough. But the bigger picture here, obviously being Roshan, Courier's already in the pit scouting it out, Liquid are in the area, just ready to kill it as soon as it spawns. And the unfortunate part is Nubi wanted to take the fight before this thing spawned. Because once it spawns, they can't contest. If they try to fight this, I think that you use Mass Serpent wards and you don't win the fight around the pit, and an Aegis anti-mage is pushing your high ground, you can't defend it. So now it's going to be fighting into an Aegis, but they will have all of their spells available. But we could be looking at the last hurrah here for Nubi.
As you said, this is going to be an absolutely incredible push from Liquid to come through once the Aegis is picked up. Nubi in no location at all to contest this. Sending a replica out. Of course, definitely not going to want to come over and join it. Both he got from Tombstones, well, just in case Newbie were going to think about going for any sneaky sort of plays, but it's certainly not the position that the Newbie are going to want to be themselves in. As the space is given, Matuma Man picks up the Aegis. And as you said, we could get ready to settle in for a big, hard push from Liquid. And at the moment, looks like they want to lead it off by potentially finding a kill. Matuma Man's coming up, leading the way. Obviously, he has the Abyss. If he gets the jump on someone, he's very, very capable of finding a solo kill. KP will be able to TP out. Matuma Man still just searching to see if the bat's hanging around. It looks like they want to just push back on this top lane. One of the lanes the Newbie's been able to push and force back over to the side of Liquid. But it really is the question, Andy, what do Newbie have in ways of just dealing with this kind of push that's going to come through with an anti-mage that's nearly 10k ahead of your lead farmer?
It's not even just about the AM, it's also the combination of the Shadow Demon as well.
And then the Axe Undying.
My god. You don't actually get to see that too much, unless there's an Alchemist in the game or something like that. Some of the Undying builds we've seen from, like Lanham, for example, he would just go for the Veil into the Armlet instead, and he just likes the zombie bunch people, but Aghanim's has its own benefits, and strength per application of decay is pretty good.
'Tis mine.
I'm struggling to find ways for Newbie to really do anything but defend their high ground. Like that's what they can do, and maybe get like a pick off by pulling somebody really far back with a lasso and hoping that the rest of the Liquid can't follow it, but they might be losing their bat.
I mean, he's just trying to get something done out on the map, but of course Liquid, they're not going to let him get away with it anytime. So 21 to 11, 32.5 minutes in, and now Liquid coming over towards the mid, getting themselves in position for what could be a very painful push into the base against Newbie. As we'll see what their best attempts are to stop it. The gold continuously being racked up on Matuma Man, 4k gold in the bank. We do have an axe on Timbersaw.
That will help a lot, actually. The wave clear is going to be a really big thing for them when the anti-mage starts wanting to go high ground and hit the tower. Being able to kill the creeps, kill the illusions. That is a very big deal. So it's good timing that he gets it now, but is it going to be enough? He does not care.
Dire's top tower is
Looking for the kill. Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Oh, God.
Radiant's middle tower
Mana
is under
Void is
attack.
real good against Timber.
And this man does not have a buyback. I mean, he's only going to be down for 40.
Dire's top
At
tower
the same
is
time,
under
bit of pressure being put on top by How. They're actually going to bring in the
Oh,
ward.
okay.
Oh, sneaky rat-a-tap from Newbie to find a tier 3. We'll see what kind of punish Liquid can do. They get the call onto How. They do take the Morphling kill. Kaka is going to be going back to base in a second.
Radiant's
Does
middle
get
tower
out.
is under attack.
But at the same time, Matuma Man is finding the trade. Takes the tier 3 down mid. He's going to stick around for more. We'll see if a buyback gets forced out
Radiant's middle
on the
tower
Morphling, or if they
is
just let
under
this go.
attack.
Chuan setting up with the Shackle. Jerks is there, ready for defensive play if it's needed, but looking at Matuma Man, it certainly isn't for the time being. And then, oh, the lasso. KP's caught him. Can they bring him down? They've got to bring him down twice. You've got to remember, they have the Shackle follow through. The Daft Destructive over at Jarrett with a defensive disruption. Can he get himself out once? No. They'll take Matuma Man down the first time. Shackle is back off cooldown, and they're going to be able to do it again. Matuma Man blinks out. Oh! They can't hold him back. Matuma Man gets out. He's lost the Aegis. But as we can see, just the amount of pressure that Liquid are putting on, it's forcing Newbie to throw everything out there, including the buyback from How.
They did make the best of a bad situation. All things considered, Liquid should have been able to Rax there, but they didn't. So Newbie are walking away from that feeling like, okay, sure, we bought back in the Morphling, but we made Liquid go back, and we also kept our Rax alive. I think against a team with an Anti-Mage and a Shadow Demon, keeping the Rax alive is basically priority number 1. And there's no way they can win a straight-up engagement, so going for the quick push play is definitely what you want to do.
And now he's got a BKB.
Alright, life is now hard. Killing him with Magic Immunity. The Shadow Shaman is what allows him to die because he has so much disabled just in the one hero.
I mean, KP turning around and look at the jump on him, Mind Control, closing the gap, getting the call up for the relocate out. It is there, they'll save KP. Tron! A missile play to the head from Atumba.
The cost.
The Shaman's down. And he would have had wards as well. 5 seconds of the wards are off cooldown, so 50 seconds without the wards on the defensive. Liquid ready to move in. The damage with the Soul Catcher bursting down Kaka. Maybe they're going to have to hold this 3 versus 5. See their best attempts. George jumps in. How? Oh, it's
No
locked.
buyback.
It's locked. No buyback available. And Liquid on the verge of doing it here, and indeed they have. Liquid will send Newbie home. Moving on in the bar bracket in a series that has just felt that Liquid are playing on a totally different level. Newbie tried their best. They obviously managed to take game 1 off Liquid, but we could have put that down to a draft issue. But as we saw in game 2 and game 3, when the draft was right, Liquid just played it so well.
I gotta really give Liquid all the props in the world here. Their drafts in the second and third game were immaculate, in my opinion. Like, Newbie were heavily outdrafted in both those matches. And Liquid, it didn't even slouch on the play either. They knew exactly what they needed to do. That anti-mage was completely out of control, almost 800 GPM. They just had